It has been 4 days since the tragic death of a father and daughter due to transformer blast in Bengaluru. Yet, no action has been taken. When Mirror Now's Neha Hebbale confronted the Karnataka Energy Minister, he completely evaded the question and chose not to answer at all. Here on Mirror Now, we continue our relentless campaign to highlight the sheer criminal negligence that claimed the 2 lives and ruined a family overnight. Remember, locals alleged that they had complained of an oil leak in that transformer, but the complaints only fell on deaf ears.
So do you have absolutely nothing to say about this? So on the floor of the assembly, you said that an audit has been called for. Has there been any work on the audit, sir? Has that started?
Yeah.
Well, in fact, clearly you can see there a very careless energy minister over here, not really responding to the responsible questions that are being raised. We're still telling you at this point that 2 innocent people lost their lives in a transformer blast, and still the government chooses to turn a blind eye, a deaf ear to this. Well, we'll have to see as to when justice is given to Chaitanya and Shivaraj, and until such time, Mirror Now is going to continue their campaign.
Meanwhile, the Karnataka Home Minister told Mirror Now's Neha Hebbale that action on the Bengaluru transformer blast case will soon be taken and that a probe is currently underway. Listen in.
4.5 days back, 2 people lost their life in a transformer blast. The police has so far failed to take any action, sir. Just one notice to the BESCOM. Why is the government and the police taking so long to make arrests in this case?
Inquiry ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಕಲ್ಪ್ರಿಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ ತಪ್ಪಿನಿಂದಾಗಿ ಅದು ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಯಾಮಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಅದನ್ನು ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏಕಾಏಕಿಯಾಗಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಲೈನ್ಮ್ಯಾನು ಯಾರೊಬ್ಬ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ನ ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಯಾರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಪ್ಪಿತಸ್ಥರು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಇದಿದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
Sir, on the floor of the House, your Minister Sunil Kumar, Energy Minister, made a very prompt statement saying the government will immediately take action, will swing into action, sir. It's been 4.5 days. Innocent people have lost their lives because of negligence of the government, sir. There was a call that was not attended to. This could have been avoided, but despite that, we're seeing this.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಪೊಲೀಸರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಬಹಳ ಬೇಗ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Will we see some arrest by today at least, sir? It's going to be 5 days.
ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ.
Okay.
ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು.
Thank you.
All right, so yet another case of criminal negligence coming in from the state of Karnataka. In the past 2, we've seen how the pothole-riddled roads have claimed innocent lives, how there's always been a water crisis. There's been this constant lip service by the BJP government in Karnataka saying that they'll ensure that such acts of sheer criminal negligence are not repeated. But it seems like they're only empty promises and no action has been taken so far. All right, I'm being joined by a Congress spokesperson, Mr. Brijesh Kalappa, on the broadcast. Sir, a very, very nonchalant, callous response coming in from the Karnataka Energy Minister, the BJP, which is in power. It's going to be 5 days and another 2 hours, but no action so far. What do you have to say on this sheer lack of empathy?
I think if a minister lacks empathy, and that too for not just 1 but 2 deaths which have taken place, and both of these deaths have taken place not because of the fault of these 2 individuals who have lost their lives, but because of the fault of the civic agencies. First is that there are potholed roads, right? And these potholed roads then cause the fact that, these people are involved in this transformer blast. And therefore, it's a repeat offense of the civic agencies and of the government. And even in a scenario where this is so starkly visible to everybody, if no action is taken, then I think it's a very sad state of affairs. And really, the most vulnerable section of society has absolutely no recourse to any kind of law or to any kind of compensation. It's obvious that this BJP government at the state has absolutely no responsibility towards its citizens, and there can be nothing more stark than this. and particularly at a time when the assembly is on and the minister even refuses to talk to the media. I think it's shocking. And that too in a case where not just one but two lives have been extinguished on for reasons of the failing of the government. I think there can be nothing more shocking and brazen than this.
Yeah, very key point made by you. Another thing that I wanted to ask you, even your government has been in power in the past in the state, and it's not a hidden fact that there is a strong lack of coordination between the civic agencies, which has also been a strong impediment to Bengaluru's development. What do you have to say on that?
You see, that's the reason the citizenry decided at that time when we were in government that they're not going to have, one form of government in the BBMP, another in the state, and another in the center. Therefore, the citizenry has today voted for a BJP MP, has voted for a BJP state government, and we have a BJP BBMP. Therefore, it's not just double engine, it's triple engine. So naturally, the citizenry expects some results. Have they voted all this in futility? That, it doesn't matter to the citizenry that whoever you vote for, your problems will continue like this. Is this what the BJP wants to present to the people?
Also, the truth is that it's at the end of the day the common man who's bearing the brunt of this sheer criminal negligence which is taking place at the level of higher-ups, and nobody is being held accountable. Anyway, thank you for your time. All right, I am being joined by my colleague Neha live on the broadcast. Neha, this is the second time that you questioned the Karnataka Energy Minister, and once again we could see that there was absolutely no sense of empathy, absolutely nonchalant, callous response where he did not even bother to give you an update whether if there has been any headway in the probe or not. Why this high-handedness?
Well, Pooja, it's important to remember that the Karnataka government makes a lot of promises, but as far as enforcing them on ground is concerned, we're seeing the citizens themselves, of course, are seeing it. Let's tell you that this incident took place on Wednesday. Today is Monday. It's been 5 days exactly since two innocent people lost their lives, and the government still refuses to react on this. Let's tell you that a day after the incident took place, on the floor of the House, the Energy Minister Sunil Kumar made a very bold statement that the government, in fact, would take swift action. They would call for an audit of all the transformers on the footpaths. About 2 days later, my colleague Revati followed up on this entire story. She pulled out, in fact, all the petitions filed in High Court with regard to this. We spoke to the petitioner, GB Atri, about this entire issue and how, in fact, for almost about 5-6 years now, multiple governments have failed to do anything about this issue. And now, even as there are 2 deaths on the government account, even as, there are people calling this nothing but murder, in fact, because the government has failed to react on this, the Energy Minister absolutely unfazed by this issue. Well, we brought this up with him again today for the second time. My colleague Imran on Friday, in fact, tried raising the same question with him. He refused to react today. As we've chased him down on the floors of Vidhan Saudha, he's refused to react on this issue. So clearly, it seems like the government's intent on this has been made amply clear. The Karnataka Home Minister, in fact, has very casually said that, yes, he would look into the matter. He would tell the police to speed in the probe. But 5 days on and not even one name is on the police's radar right now. The DCP of the West Division on Saturday mentioned to my colleague that they are, in fact, probing the matter, that they cannot merely arrest one lineman or one officer. But the larger question we're raising is, did it require the government 2 deaths to actually wake up to this issue and do something about it? And even now, as these 2 people have died, as their families have mourned their death, let's remind you that the girl, in fact, over here, Chaitanya, was all set to get married in just about a month from now. A few days away, in fact, her father and her had booked a wedding hall. They were on their way back home when this tragic incident, in fact, claimed their lives. And still, the Karnataka government has remained silent on this entire issue.
Well, that's right. Stony silence from the Karnataka governments, and they can continue to be nonchalant. They can continue to dodge our questions, but we will continue with our relentless coverage. Thank you for your time, Neha.